Anyone that that talked and complained about CGC's turnaround time is to blame for what was announced today. Clearly, I'm just having some fun, but I wanted to do a quick impromptu live stream to talk about the big news. The big news that has dropped. I was driving down the street a few hours ago when I received the emails notifying me that CGC is making some changes to their pricing. And I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about this. I was trying to save it until tonight's live stream, where we're going to go on for comics today, but I could not wait. I could not hold my water, and I wanted to talk about this. And it is a little bit of I told you so, right? Because people have been complaining about CGC's turnaround time. Everyone knows that it is slow. There is no doubt about that. Let's be completely honest. It is slow, but good, fast, cheap. Like, pick two, because you're not getting all three. People have said, speed up. Can they do more? And they basically, in today's communication, is saying that we are going to do more, but it is going to cost more and cost us more to send books into CGC. That is not across the board. There are maybe some cheaper options that they're doing. I don't know. It depends upon how one chooses to interpret the data. And I'm not going to say hello to everybody in the chat. I'm honestly just going to try to jump into this thing because I don't want to make it too long of a conversation. But here is the message that actually came out from CGC. It says, as demand for CGC's expert and impartial services continues to grow rapidly, CGC is advancing its efforts to increase capacity while maintaining the highest standards of quality. And they talk about how this has been a good year for CGC thus far in 2021. They say, in response, CGC has actively sought and implemented measures to increase capacity while maintaining the highest standards of quality. As part of this, they have initiated a massive hiring push that has resulted in over 70 new employees being added in the last 3 months. They purchased a multi-million-dollar new building, which many of us saw. They announced that a while ago, brought in efficiency consultants and worked thousands of hours of overtime in order to improve this service. And they say, we have increased incentives to motivate and reward our employees and also to attract new talent. And they basically go on to say some stuff's changing. And the new services and fees apply to all CGC online submission forms completed as of April 28th. So we still have some time to kind of squeeze some things in if it's advantageous to do so. Submission forms completed before the April 28th deadline must be delivered to the facility by May 28th in order to qualify. And then it goes on to say a few other things here. But at the highest level, I'm not going to look at the memberships because I think the memberships by and large are like the same. Maybe the elite membership discount has actually come down 15%. I didn't look at that. I want to say that might have been 15% before with this grading tier, but it is now 10%. So I think that that's the one change that readily jumps out at me. But there are definitely some other changes here, the biggest of which are the fact that the value tier has been eliminated. And they have also eliminated the quick press option for comics. Quick press option was $8 versus a full press at $12. The quick press has now been eliminated. And I think the minimum of 15 books has also been eliminated because quick press was eliminated. So here, I want to talk about this real quick. It says, let me see. Note that CGC is eliminating the value tier and combining it with the economy tier, which is now lower in price. Again, not all bad news. Also, CCS is eliminating the quick press option due to recent enhancements that have reduced the differences between the quick press and the regular press. And they're like, hey, if we already have your books here, too bad. You can't change anything at this point. And so that is neither here nor there, just a fun little observation that I'm making. So I kind of did a little bit of a comparison here. I did a little bit of a comparison between the new pricing and the old pricing. And this is what I think I netted out. The modern tier is still there. The modern tier was originally capped at $200. They have increased the max tier, which means that you can send in a modern book that is a newer book, so 1975 to present day, that has a value up to $400, it can still go a modern tier without bleeding over to one of the other tiers. So that's a good thing that they've raised the ceiling. They have, however, raised the cost to grade that very same book by $2. Before it was $20 and now it is $22. The other thing to mention here is that the numbers that you are seeing on screen are not, they does not include your discount. So if you have a high level membership, you get a few percent off, 10% or something like that. That is not reflected in the numbers that we are looking at here on screen. But again, they have raised the ceiling for the max value for the modern tier, but they've also increased the cost by $2. The value tier, as we've mentioned, has been eliminated. No more value tier, right? Now it is now the economy only. So they've combined value and economy. With economy, you can go up to $400. And you can have, of course, an older book. So like pre-1975 book, up to $400 can be economy. They have actually lowered the cost. This tier was $38 for grading before. It is now, and you can see it on screen, $33, which is a $5 decrease in the economy tier, which again is a good thing because you're talking about your Silver Age books will fall into that tier. Your standard tier, it still has a max ceiling of $1,000. They have actually increased the fee associated with this one from $65 to $75. So it is basically a $10 increase. And then with Express, it still has the same max ceiling at $3,000. Before Express, they have raised the price $20. It was $100 before, and you can see on screen here, it is now $120. So by and large, they have raised the prices almost at every tier, with the exception of the economy tier, where they have dropped that by $5. Okay. So for those that are coming in a little bit late, what we are doing is talking about the changes that CGC has actually made to their pricing structure. And in most cases, as you heard, they have raised prices, but in one case, one instance with the economy tier, they have actually decreased it by about $5. And the major changes that they have made is that they have eliminated the value tier, and they have also eliminated the $8 quick press. With that, let's go ahead and look at the pressing prices, and you can see that on the bottom of your screen here for a modern comic. Again, which is defined as a book from 1975 to the present. They have increased the fee from, I think it was $12 before for a full press to now $15, a $3 increase. For the economy tier, they have actually decreased it by $10. Before, a economy clean press was $40. It is now only $30, so a decrease of $10. The standard clean press has gone up $10 to now be $70, and the Express has gone up $15. So from $85 to $100, it has gone up a little bump there. So again, the bright side here is that if you are sending in books that are pre-1975, you are going to save yourself a couple of bucks, about $15 between clean and press versus what you might have been paying before if you were going with the economy tier. So again, not all terrible news, but definitely some changes that folks should be aware of. I think CGC also changed some of the pricing with shipping. I did not dig into that one, so we're not going to talk about that, but these are some substantive changes that folks should be aware of. There were also some changes I do believe that they made to the trading cards. I think that they actually raised trading card prices as well. I'm not a trading card person, so I did not spend a whole lot of time on that, but I did receive a couple of emails from people talking about that. So let me go to the chat real quick. Deuces, I see you, brother. Matt says CBCS is probably next. I'm gonna be honest with you. The move for CBCS, the move will be to drop prices. The move would be to slightly drop prices because that might actually get people's attention. My general feeling, however, is that CBCS will not make any changes. That's going to be my general feeling. If they were trying to be competitive and they were thinking in this marketing spirit, lower your price. Lower your price, draw a bigger distinction between yourself and CGC, use it to your advantage. My guess is that they're not going to do anything. They are hiring, brother. They just hired 70 people in the last 3 months. They increased incentives and rewards and stuff like that for performance. So they're trying. So they may be hiring. If you want to move down to Sarasota, Florida, going down there to Communications Parkway, man. Scrolling through some of the comments here. The shipping back to Canada for $25 is going up, man. That I'm telling you, Squirrel Madness, brother. Shipping is a monster. Shipping is a monster. And it's like, I don't get it. It's not like, I don't know. I just feel like they should do something a little bit different with shipping. So Red Hood, how you doing? He said, yeah, but value-wise, CGC always commands more. That's why everyone uses them. I really like CBCS, though. Yeah, that is the thing. Someone has actually done some analysis and determined that, yes, indeed, the CGC slabs actually do command more value. I think someone, I think it was Just Pele said it was somewhere between 5 to 10%. The challenge, however, is does it truly command that higher premium, or do we have sellers that have CBCS books that are choosing to sell books for less in order to sell those books, and now that's become like the trend? You know what I'm saying? I don't, again, if you have these two books side by side, to me, they're the same book, right? They're the same book. But if I have someone with CBCS that's willing to take a couple of bucks off for the exact same book, I'm going to go with the CBCS book because it's a little bit cheaper. Why not go for it? In my mind, as a buyer, it's the same book, and sometimes less expensive oftentimes will actually win out. So scrolling through, Bronze Age Nerd, CBCS is a worthy alternative. The market is supporting them more. If this continues, it creates real competition for CGC, just saying. So you could indeed be right. And I've given feedback to CBCS basically saying that they need to do more. They need to do more in order to really be a competitor, right? You go to the homepage of CGC's website, what do you see? You see that Action Comics #1 that just broke the record. Anytime a CGC book breaks a record, they tout it. You don't necessarily see that for CBCS, right? So part of it is like this reputation of, and this feeling that CGC is the industry leader, and as such commands these high prices. Without something to offset that, that becomes the narrative. The narrative becomes the reputation commands the dollars. And so it's like CBCS could be doing some things, but again, my guess is that they're going to be radio silent on this the same way that they have been radio silent on so many other things, which is just not a good thing. It is not a good thing. Scrolling through some of the comments here, you guys are going back and forth about some of these things. What is this? Robert says, the time to send in a big order is now. So to that point, you do have until April 28th to complete your paperwork to submit your books. And then you still have until May 28th to actually get those books to CGC. So price goes into effect April 28th. They are going to, if it's in the system, honor that until May 28th. And again, a lot of these details are on the website. So if I jack that up, make sure you check the details on the website before you just take my word for it. But I believe that to be true. Scrolling down through some of the comments here, Squirrel Madness is like, man, I'm gonna just press my own stuff, brother. That's why I learned to press. I mean, there's two reasons why I learned to press. One is because it's a different aspect and way to experience the hobby, but also there's some cost savings. My challenge right now is I don't have as much time as I used to have to do my own pressing, so now I have to pay for it. But you never know what that looks like in the future. So scrolling down to some of the comments here, Matt, how you doing, brother? He's good to see you. He says, I use their pressing services, still waiting on books sent in October. I'll tell you, I have 130 books there. 130 books. That is before I just sent another 50 books in with my variant. So I have a lot of books at CGC, let me just tell you. And I am excited about the fact that they will actually come back at some point. What is this? Kurt says CGC came along first and has the largest presence. As a result, does not make it best. I don't necessarily disagree with that. The challenge, as we've kind of alluded to, and many of you might agree with this, is where is CBCS? All right. If you look at the marketing that is put out by these two companies and you put them side by side, one is really good, one isn't. Right. And the thing is, there does, in my opinion, it comes down, yes, to the quality of the service and the turnaround time and the pricing. All of those things matter. But when you take a step back from it, CGC behaves like a leader. They show up like a leader. Their presence on social media is impressive. CBCS doesn't compare. You get an email from CGC, it's an exciting email for the most part. You get an email from CBCS, and it is the most plain Jane, boring thing you will ever see. They need to step up their game and not be afraid to tout their own horn and to tout their services and to talk about the differences between the two companies, because there are differences between the two. Do people know that CBCS actually offers raw grading? They should be talking about that service, especially to those people that want to have a book graded, but don't necessarily want to have a book slab. Why are they not talking about that service? Why do they not talk about their signature verification and some of the other stuff? They need to tout their differentiators, but they don't. They don't. Competition is a good thing, but the thing is, they have to help themselves. We, as a comic book community, can't do it all. People have to help themselves, and I don't necessarily see them helping themselves. That's just my opinion. Scrolling through some of the comments here and seeing what else you guys are talking about. Jeff is in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Tina, the OG, is in here. You actually came up, Tina. I did an interview the other day for Burke Family, and you actually came up along with a few other people. It is good to see you, my friend. Scrolling through, Clay giving a shout out to the customer service over there. Repair says, oh, just sent off my first submission this morning to CGC. Is there an announcement? Yes, there is indeed an announcement. So I'm going to rip through this one more time for those folks that may have come in a little bit late. It's always nice to do a revisit here. So there have been some changes over at CGC. They are changing some of their pricing associated with grading and also with cleaning and pressing. Those two things go together. A clean and a press is literally one thing. And that's a question that I get from a lot of new folks. So I want to make sure that I say that. The biggest changes that CGC is actually making is that they've eliminated the value tier. No more value tier. They've essentially combined the value tier into the economy tier and dropped the price for grading and also for cleaning and pressing. That is like the big change. Another major change is that the quick press option has actually gone away. No more quick press, no more 15 book minimum, and no more $8 presses, because that's what a quick press was. They basically say that they've reduced the differences between a quick press and a full press, and now it's essentially a thing, like a single thing instead of multiple things. So the quick press is gone, and we now have some higher prices by and large for all pressing except at the economy tier. So I'm going to scroll down through this article one more time. This is the announcement that came out. I did not spend a whole lot of time on the membership thing. The big thing that jumped out at me here, the membership changes are effective April 28th. The big thing that jumped out at me here was the, I think that this was a 15% credit before that has now gone down to 10. I've always had the premium. I've always done the premium. It's $149. They give you a $150 credit, which basically makes it free. You get a 10% discount. Oh, I just noticed the other change. The other change is this is a 10% off credit for the store. This used to be a 10% credit on grading. So there is no more discount at the premium tier. No more discount at the premium tier. That's major. That's major. That's the tier that I've always kind of gone with because again, it's $49. I'm sorry, $149, $150 credit makes it free. Plus you receive the 10% discount. That is now gone away. And now Elite is that tier. I've never really understood what the exclusive offers and benefits were. And I get asked this question a lot. I've never, ever gone with the Elite tier. I've never met anyone that has the Elite tier that is able to tell me what the exclusive offers are. If you know what this is, please send me a message because I do want to know the answer to that. So here we can actually see some of the big changes that were actually made. The big things here is that the modern tier max value has gone up from 200 to 400. The price has gone up $2. Value tier eliminated. Economy tier still has a $400 max limit. The cost for this has gone down $5 from 38 to 33. So that's a good thing. Your Silver Age books, you can actually save a couple of bucks if they're valued less than $400. The standard tier remains at $1,000 cap. That price for that grading has gone up $10. The Express steel sits at $3,000. Its cost has gone up $20. So by and large, prices have gone up somewhere between, $2 to $20. And in the case of the economy tier for grading, it has gone down $5. When you look at the cleaning and pressing, again here, at the modern tier, it's gone up $3. At the standard tier, $10. At the express tier, $15. And for economy, it has actually come down $10. So if you are sending in an economy book that is pre-1975, valued at less than $400, you will actually save $15 on getting that book clean, pressed, and graded. So those are some of the high-level changes that have actually been made by CGC as it relates to their new pricing announcement that they unveiled earlier today. So let me go back to the chat and see what folks are talking about. Does it say if you have a current membership, the benefits will remain until the membership expires? That's a wonderful question. That's a wonderful question. Let me see if I can find that. Again, I did not spend a whole lot of time on that. It says the new services and fees apply to all CGC online submission forms as of April 28th. It just says, please see the updated membership tier benefits effective April 28th. Let's look at this one. There's a link here. So link here. Let's click the link. It does not say. It does not say. So I don't know. That is a really good question. I don't know who asked that. Who asked that? Justin, great question. I don't know the answer to that. Sounds like we need to send off an email to CGC. Ian, brother, I don't know where you've been. I've been here. I've been here doing what I'm doing right now, which is entertaining the masses. That's where I've been. No, seriously, it's good to see you, brother. Thank you for popping in here for a hot second. Let me see. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Niall says, literally upgraded to Elite on Monday. Guess I knew. Bro, Niles, I need you to tell me what the extra benefits are because I don't know. Like if they send you like a free, X-Men 1 or something like that, just let me know because I want to go ahead and sign up for that. I want to upgrade. If they're giving out free X-Men 1s, I want to be on that one. Okay, so just keep me posted, please. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what you guys are talking about. Wait a minute. So Bronze Age found it. So it says CGC memberships purchased prior to April 28th, 2021 will continue to have the current membership benefits until their renewal expiration date. That honestly makes sense. Like that's kind of sort of the right thing to do. So I'm not exactly surprised by that. Bronze Age Nerd, thank you for finding that. Thank you for posting that up. Where did you find that? If you can throw that up in the chat so people can go find that. Maybe it's in the alert and I just did not see it in that section. So scrolling through some of the comments here. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. And thank you for just taking my jokes in stride because I'm just here having fun. Question here. Thoughts on buying CGC 9.8 pre-sales? I think it's it depends on if you're using one of the services. Like I was promoting one of the services for a short period of time. I'm kind of I support it, right? If you are able to think about, what book you want and, think about the long-term ramifications of that book. And if you can pick the hot book and get it, 9.8 right off the top without having to submit it, I say go for it. The challenge is a lot of modern books will maybe come out hot and then die off, or will come out and just won't do anything at all. So there's a little bit of a risk there. It's definitely a little bit of a risk there. I personally prefer to hold my modern books for about 3 months to see how those books are going to perform before doing something with it, unless it's a book that I know that I'm just going to sell. And then that might be a little bit different, but I think everybody has to use their own judgment and decide what works best for them. So scrolling through the comments here, are Newton rings still a problem with CGC or have they fixed that? You know what? I personally don't know if I've heard as much hubbub about Newton rings as of late. I'm hesitant to say that they have been completely gone away because it's a phenomenon that goes back to Sir Isaac Newton, who basically discovered that when you put two pieces of plastic together, this thing happens, this distortion happens. I'm hesitant to say that CGC has solved something that Sir Isaac Newton could not solve, but I don't hear it as hot and heavy as I used to hear. The big thing right now, of course, is turnaround time. That is the big thing that we hear from people. Squirrel Madness is saying that they're giving out free Turox #1, 9.9s and 10s. They're giving those out with, that's the bonus. That's the bonus. If you go with the elite membership, you get a Turok 1 10.0 and a 9.9. They just give them away for coasters. Almighty Liger King, is good to see you, brothers. Welcome. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Newton rings. Science, man. We can't make this stuff up. We can't make it up, you know. Don't call them Regie rings. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. That'll just, man, I work really hard on my reputation. Let's not. All right, so let's go ahead and answer this question because it keeps coming up time and time again. So let's go ahead and answer this. I don't know. You'd have to reach out to CGC to kind of ask them the question as to why they don't put in notes. The question is, we don't know whether you're talking about a 9.8 or something else, right? Because if you're sending a 9.8 and the book's coming back graded, then you wouldn't necessarily need a note, right? So you probably need to give us some additional context for the nature of the question that you're asking. Because again, if it's a 9.8, there's no need to put a note because it's probably in good shape. Generally speaking, honestly, if it's a 9.6, you can oftentimes look at the book and actually see the defects and essentially know why it didn't get a 9.8. But so much of it actually depends upon the book. All right. Scrolling through, Justin says it might be worth it to buy a membership rather than to rush a bunch of books out if you can only afford to do one or the other. I gotta put that comment up there. I'm gonna just put that one up there. I don't know if I agree with it. I think it's funny. So in all transparency, let's throw this back up on screen to provide a little bit of context to what's being said here. So CGC is basically saying, look, this has been a great year for us so far. They acknowledge that. I think it's been a great year for a lot of people. You heard that from Yuko Smith the other day, the artist, that is like, the pandemic is bad in a lot of respects, but in some respects, it is good. CGC is also saying that the same thing here. They say that in response, CGC has actively sought to implement measures to increase capacity while maintaining the highest standards of quality. As part of CGC, we have initiated a massive hiring push that has resulted in over 70 new employees being added in the last 3 months, purchased a multi-million-dollar new building, brought in efficiency consultants, and worked thousands of hours of overtime, right? So they're basically saying, look, people, we're not happy with the turnaround time. We're not happy with the quality of service that we're offering. You're not happy. We're trying to do something about it. We're hiring people. We're putting incentives in place to better support people and reward them for performance. But what comes along with that is we have to raise prices in order to offset that. Good, fast, cheap. Which one? Which two do you want? Good, fast, cheap. Which two do you want? I mean, because that's essentially what we're talking about here. So, but the comment, the CGC comment, definitely funny. Phil is in the house. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. What is this? Price changes seems a little more greed than need, in my opinion, says Marco. They're number one in the grading industry, and they are backed up, but by months, so they needed more graders in a new facility for a while. Oh, yep. Again, I'm not here to defend them. I am here to throw up people's comments that are choosing to express their opinions and frustrations. It bees what it bees, people. The great thing is that we do have options. Let's be super clear about that. The great thing is that we have options, right? We don't have to use CGC if that's what you want to do. You have CBCS, you have EGS, you have Halo, right? You have you can slab it yourself. You have PGX. We have options out there that are available to us. Now, maybe you don't like those options, but there certainly are options out there for people to be able to pursue. Who is that? Comic Noob says, use the short boxed app. Great experience. I'm gonna tell you, bro, it's a good app. It's a good app, and I'm a little frustrated that I told you guys about it because now I can't even get any good books because other people are already buying them up. But I'm glad you're having a good time. I'm glad you're enjoying the app. it's over for me. I did. I mentioned EGS. Somebody reached out to me the other day and they said, hey, have you heard about EGS? I said, yes, I launched them 3 years ago. So yeah, I know all about EGS. It's a good company. Tony's a good guy. He's a Patreon member and he's doing some really, really cool stuff. And again, the point here is that people do have options. You don't have to grade your comics. You don't have to. And nobody should make you feel like you have to. And if you choose to grade your comics, you don't have to use CGC. You can use other providers. There are other providers out there that you can go with. You don't have to stick with them. Everybody has to decide what makes the most sense for them. So again, just for those people that are coming in a little late, we just ripped through a lot of the major changes and nuance changes that are coming from CGC with regard to their membership and to their grading fees and also pressing fees. There are substantive changes all along the way. We actually had some live epiphanies here, things that I didn't readily recognize right away until I started talking about them. It was like, that looks a little different. So I definitely want to encourage you guys, when you have some time, to go over to cgccomics.com. There is the full article there. You can read all of the details. If you are someone who uses CGC, you definitely want to familiarize yourself with the various dates and the cutoff periods and all of that good stuff so that you can be in the know. I am going to wrap this video up, and I'm going to do so because I need to save some of this energy that I have right now for the live stream that we are going to do tonight at 7 o'clock. I'm going to be going live talking about whether sports cards guys are negatively impacting the comic book market, whether these folks are driving up the cost of our collectibles. As always, if you guys need me, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Regie Collects. And don't forget to visit the website, regiecollects.com. We released a blog post earlier today by Doug. And there's some really cool stuff that you might want to pick up from our shop. And like I said, if you guys need me, I'm around. Comics Today starts tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Take care.